It's day 3, and I am just, again, so excited to hear all the feedback that I've been getting and how this is really impacting and making some changes in your life. And the big word is challenge. I'm hearing a lot of this is challenging me. So I am so thankful that you are just joining us and that this has been impactful. And I pray that throughout these 20 days that your life will change, that things will begin to be impacted because your faith has grown. Today we're going into day 3, and I'm calling this the Terebinth tree of obedience. We're not looking at a chapter today, but what we are going to be looking at is 3 different Terebinth trees throughout these 20 days. And this one here is called, I'm calling this the Terebinth tree of obedience. If you look in Genesis chapter 12, verse 6, we go back there and we read the verse. It says, Abram passed through the land as far as the site of Shechem to the oak of Moreh. Now the Canaanite was then in the land. Well, the oak of Moreh, or is called the Terebinth tree in some versions of the Bible, is really what I want us to focus on. So we see this scripture found in between the I will promises and the appearance of the Lord. And we see Abram with 2 great assets: an ear that can hear God and a heart ready to obey his voice. And it's setting into motion of a life of adventure, of promise, and destiny. I love what Hebrews chapter 11 verse 8 says. It tells us that Abram left, not knowing where he was going. So Abram left, not knowing where he was going. We know that. And I believe there are times in our own journey of faith where it's not required to change geographically as Abram did, but to bring a greater depth in our spiritual walk with God. Sure, leaving where we are is a whole lot easier if we know where we're going, right? But can we obey him in the unknown? Can we obey him with the clear sheet of paper, the no roadmap? Can we obey him in the unknown? You know, an example that I have in the book is when we go to the grocery store, we know the distance and how long it's going to take there. But in Abram's case, God didn't provide him with any direction, any time frame. Abram simply had to obey. And in this tree, we find, if we really look at it, we find that this was a place where Abram and God could meet. And as we see throughout this journey of these 20 days, that's what I want, if anything, is for you to create a place where God can meet you right where you're at. Right where you're at. So we have this tree of obedience, and basically we need to share that the sense of abandon to the call of God, that we can abandon everything before us, that we can walk away from any plan we have, anything that we look forward to and we see in our future. Can we abandon all that for the call of God in our life? See, we're not leaving something for nothing. We're not leaving something better for something worse. We're not leaving something good for something bad. At the end of the day, we are leaving this world for something greater. So we may not see it yet, but we have his promise. His promise that I will show you. I will show you everything if you trust me. I will show you in your sense of abandonment for me. I will show you all the things greater that I have for you. Man, there's just amazement in that. So at this Terebinth tree of Moreh, Abram learned that the voice he heard in Ur was really the voice of God. We go back to chapter 11 and into 12, and we see Abram leaving Ur out of just complete obedience. Unknown, I don't know why I'm going there, but I'm going to trust this promise that God gave me. I'm going to trust this promise that God gave me. And so we really hear the voice of God, and that this God is all powerful, all knowing, and worthy of all obedience, no matter what he might demand. Getting to that place where we can truly trust him because he is all knowing, all powerful. That we can trust that. I think sometimes I can again be guilty of this, that I look at this and say, this is as good as it's going to get. And God says, no. Why do you minimize me? Why do you minimize what I can do? Get to that place. Don't minimize God. Don't say this is all that I can do. See, this is our standard. We allow our flesh to have a standard. But God says, let me be greater. Let me show you the I wills in your life. So I'm just excited. I'm excited again for what this is doing. And not just your life, but in my life. I'm walking this journey constantly, daily. And this is a process that I pray will always continue to grow. Always. So this is our first Terebinth tree. We'll cover 2 more throughout these 20 days. But begin to ask God where that place is. Whether it's a prayer closet, whether it's the car, whether it's just in your own home, in your prayer time, whatever that place is, that God can meet you right where you're at. So we will see you tomorrow. Continue to be praying up. Continue to just walk through your journey. Today there's no devotion per se. It's just a time to really get with God and let him meet you right where you're at. We'll see you tomorrow.